I'm back with an all-new Top 5 for you, brought to you by Flag and Anthem. Check out flagandanthem.com. Use our promo code 365sports. And let's get into it. I returned from a lovely weekend, celebrating my second wedding anniversary, to find out that the Red Sox, my beloved Red Sox, have traded Rafael Devers to the San Francisco Giants for Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison, Jose Bello, and FSU legend James Tibbs, as if they did that to try to make me feel better. It didn't make me feel better. It just deepened my theory that they're trying to reboot, albeit maybe inadvertently, the curse of the Bambino. So let me give you a parallel history lesson here. The recent Red Sox have been one of the best teams dynastically in baseball, most recently winning their fourth World Series in a decade and change in 2018. After 86 years of not winning the World Series due to the curse of Bambino, Babe Ruth, who was traded to the Yankees, and that started their super dynasty, and he was traded. Why? Because the owner, Harry Frazee, who people in Boston literally piss on his grave, traded him for a musical named No No Nanette so he could finance that. No No Nanette. Well, this is not quite as nefarious as No No Nanette, but since the Red Sox have been winning a lot more, their franchise has become super valuable. In fact, one of the top 3 most valuable organizations in Major League Baseball, allowing John Henry and the Red Sox ownership group, Fenway Sports, to invest in other things like Liverpool FC, a powerhouse in the Premier League. Well, they just offered their biggest contract in Liverpool history just this past week. And in the same week, offloaded their biggest Red Sox contract. So John Henry and crew are spending money for Liverpool FC. This means this is the No No Nanette. That's step 1 here. Number 4, there are 2 bad GMs in a row. It's early on for Craig Breslow, but this felt very Luka trade-ish in that the Rafi Devers drama was because of bad communication on either end and could have really been worked out better, but it wasn't. And before him, Chaim Bloom made some really bad trades. Let's jump into the first one of those bad trades, shall we? Mookie Betts for Jeter Downs, Connor Wong, and Alex Verdugo. Connor Wong is the current Red Sox backup catcher, not hitting his weight right now. But one of the good trades that was made by Craig Breslow, the current GM, was bringing in Red Sox current starting catcher Cesar Narvaez, who has done great this year and probably will be an all-star behind Cal Raleigh at catcher. But Jeter Downs released straight up and downs. Also, you trade for a guy named after Derek Jeter on the Red Sox? That's how you start a curse, man. Also, they needed a shortstop. What position does Mookie play right now? Shortstop. They need a second baseman. He can do that. He's also the best right fielder you're ever going to see. It's ridiculous. Alex Verdugo, the only one who produced for them, and he's now a journeyman over the last couple years. They traded Alex Verdugo to the Yankees. To the Yankees. They never do that. That's how much they didn't want him anymore. Number 2. Chris Sale, their best starting pitcher, traded. Okay, maybe it's time, but the value they got back for him, shortstop and second baseman Vaughn Grissom, who, after an injury-plagued season last year, has not been able to break back into the minors. He is on the Woo Sox in Worcester, Mass. That's where he is, for a true ace and a guy who helped you win a World Series in Chris Sale. In fact, the most valuable part outside of Mookie Betts in the 2018 World Series team was Chris Sale and his bulldog mentality. He's a little bit eccentric, we'll call it that, but If you're going to trade a guy, you got to get value for him. And this, pure salary dump. Because Vaughn Grissom, are you kidding me? Vaughn Grissom? And no offense to any of these guys. I know you're working hard. I know you're trying to make it. But for God's sakes, Red Sox, get some value here. And number one, the Rafael Devers drama. Okay, you go and sign Alex Bregman. Hey, trying to fight off the rebuild of the curse. You do give him opt-outs after every single year of the contract, including this one, meaning now that you've traded away $300 million, Scott Boras, his agent, will know that and most certainly opt out, causing you to have to go back to the negotiating board with Alex Bregman. That's step one. Step two, you never told Rafael Devers you were going to do it. So he thinks he's going to try to get better at third base defensively. He's not ever going to get better at third base defensively. That's the whole knock on this thing. So you just bring him in, and then maybe I'm like, oh, Alex is going to play second base. That's what he's going to do. And then now he's going to play third because he's one of the best defensive third basemen in baseball right now. So we'd like to be the full-time DH because Masataka Yoshida is out. So you're going to be the full-time DH. He begrudgingly accepts to do that, then becomes, right now, the best DH in baseball. Outside of Shohei Ohtani. He's the best in the American League for sure. So he, after a rough start, he gets his head right, just hit a home run against the Yankees to help in their sweep. But in the middle of all this, Tristan Casas, your first baseman, gets hurt. He's out for a very long time. So you go and ask Rafi to move to first base. Now, this is where it becomes Rafi's fault. He gets mad, gets in his feelings, says he's not moving to first base. The owner, John Henry, even came down to meet him. He's too mad at Craig Breslow and John Henry and Alex Cora and everybody else for asking him to move all of these positions. So now it's a bridge too far. So you trade him off to the Giants. Buster Posey kind of fleeced you because Kyle Harrison, up and down between the majors and the minors. Tons of potential. Kyle Hicks throws gas, but really he's at best a high leverage reliever. Jose Bello, kind of a lottery, ticket if it hits. And James Tibb, the only one of real value, was just drafted a year ago, so it may be a little while before he comes and plays for you in Boston. That adds up to a rebooting of the curse of the Bambino in the aggregate. Because again, none of these guys are Babe Ruth, and nobody's Babe Ruth. But if you take a really stud left-handed pitcher and two great hitters and run them together, what do you have? You got a Babe Ruth, don't you? That's what this is, the restarting of the curse of the Bambino, and I am descending into madness. Smokey, please read these polls before you have to put me in a straitjacket.